Today is August the 21st, and this is part 42 of our study of end times. Yesterday, we began our study of the Great White Throne Judgment. Now, this is not a study of the book of Revelation. This is a study of end time events. But we get this Great White Throne Judgment from the book of Revelation, chapter 20. Yesterday, we studied, starting at verse 11, that there was a Great White Throne. That's where we get the name Great White Throne Judgment. And that Jesus was the one that was doing the judging. And we found that there will be a new heaven and a new earth, because the first heaven, first earth are gone, fled away. Then we saw that the dead, small and great, that is rich, poor, powerful, anybody, all of the lost are going to be here. No one's going to escape this. Then it said there was books, plural, opened. And this somehow represents the deeds, the works of all these people that are there, that are lost. And there's another book, singular, one book, and that's the book of life. That is, if you've been saved, your name is in the book. If you're not saved, your name is not in the book. So, we're going to continue on today. It says that the people here, the lost people, are going to be judged according to their works. This is not a judgment for salvation. Salvation is not of works. Never a judgment for salvation. That's already determined when a person dies. What it determined before then with what they've done with Jesus. But it is sealed at death. No second chance. Now we're going to pick up in verse 13 today in chapter 20 of Revelation. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it. A lot of people have been buried at sea, either intentionally or unintentionally. Wars, for instance, shipwrecks, people buried at sea on purpose, tsunamis, so forth. A lot of people. And so the dead that were buried at sea, their bodies will come forth out of the sea, and then hell delivered up the dead which were in them, or in it. And hell, the word hell here is from the Greek Hades. We learn from Luke chapter 16 the story of the rich man and Lazarus. That when a lost man dies, he goes to Hades, place of torments. And Hades is a temporary place. People will not stay in Hades forever, because they will be brought up out of Hades to stand before this judgment for their works. I like to compare Hades and the lake of fire to a jail and a prison. When someone commits a crime, they're taken to jail. And they stay in jail until their trial, until the judgment. Then they are sent to prison, where they'll serve their sentence. So Hades is a place where the lost die and go to await the day of this great white throne judgment. Then they will be brought up, they will be resurrected, given their body, and judged according to their works. And we said yesterday there's a lot of saved people, a lot of lost people. A lot of lost people that are good people. And there's some lost people that are really bad people. We think about Hitler. We think about Stalin. We think about Mao Zedong, that was responsible for killing millions upon millions of people. But in my opinion, these are not the worst. I think, my opinion is, the very worst of the worst will be preachers who have told people the wrong way to get to heaven. What I mean by that, some preachers, Christians, claim to be Christians, telling people, oh, just be good and you'll make it. No, that's not the plan of salvation. Oh, you got to work your way to heaven. You got to keep on working and working. That's not the plan of salvation. These people are responsible for sending people to hell, and they'll be there forever. So I think these will be the worst of the worst. Now, these people are judged according to their works. There's going to be a lot of them there, and I think God's going to do it all at the same time, but individually. Why judge according to their works? Because in the lake of fire, there will be different degrees Some will be better off than others. Some will be worse off than others. Now, they were judged, and it says in verse 14, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. There's no need for Hades anymore because it's empty and it'll stay empty. Death, be no more death, and be no more dying after this time. Then it says in verse 15, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. This is the end. For a lost person that dies without Christ, this is going to be the end for them. They will be cast into the lake of fire where Satan is, where the Antichrist is, where the false prophet is, and be there forever. Don't particularly like that, but that's what God says. That's what the Bible teaches. And God knows more and better and is more righteous and loving than I am. So there we are, the great white throne judgment for unbelievers, then be cast into the lake of fire where they'll be punished, some worse than others, because of this judgment of works. Well, that's it for today. So I will see you in the morning. Have a great day today.